Can do here.
I know.
All right. So you guys are in North Carolina, right? How's the weather over there? You guys hot?
Yeah. Oh, it's like, it seems to be like 95 degrees every day and humidity. And then we
Yep.
get these freak storms coming in and it's, yeah.
All right. So it looks like we're live.
Great.
I just need to figure out, let's see, we're here, I need to go back to you. Yeah, I'm working on a Mac here. I'm not familiar with it very well. Let's see.
Okay.
Well, I lost you. There you are. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. My name's Amu. I'm the pipe and tobacco specialist here at Arlington Pipe and Cigar Lounge. I think pretty much everybody here knows me. And if you don't know my wonderful and gracious guest to join us today, this is the very talented Mr. Erik Stokkebye. And I am very, very excited to be here with you, especially this early in the morning. So thank you for joining us. I know you guys are, you're like an hour ahead of us. So
we're an hour ahead of us. Yeah. So
not too early.
It's not too early, and happy to be part of this. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We're really excited. We brought we brought the 4th gen line in, it must have been like late summer, early fall. And it's just been awesome. People love the tobacco. People love the pipes. They're gorgeous pipes. Speaking of which,
thank you. Oh,
I've
great.
got my 1966.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
And it was a gift. So I've got my 4th gen, the 1982. This is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
Not generally an I love a good aromatic, but you guys this is off the chart.
Great.
For anybody who's unfamiliar, this is a Black Cavendish Burley Virginia blend with blackberry and vanilla.
Right.
Which is awesome. It is a hell of a blend.
It does well for us too. I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd bestseller. So yeah.
Really? Now, what would be your guys' first bestseller?
The bestseller is the 1957, which is my year. And then the second, or it's between the 1982 and the 1931, the Flake.
Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of people here get the Flake. The Flake does really well for us. And it's funny you mentioned the 57. I was going back and forth with those two this morning.
Okay.
And then I went for my personal favorite. So all right. Well, if you guys aren't familiar, if people maybe not very familiar with the 4th gen line or with you personally, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm Erik Stokkebye, and I'm out of a family, a 4th generation family in tobacco. So it started with my great-grandfather in the town of Odense in Denmark in 1882, and at that time it was he had a smaller factory with a retail store in the front, and became very successful as a tobacco businessman and bought up some other smaller companies. At that time, in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was a lot of smaller manufacturers in Northern Europe. Small factories would usually their own retail stores, so that was quite common. But as time progressed, they became less and less, being bought up by others and so forth. So my grandfather came into the business after spending some time in Sumatra with my grandmother for a Dutch company, cigar plantation. So he really became more of a cigar man and really focused a lot on cigars production. And then my father got into the business in the late 1950s, early 1960s, and really shifted a lot of the production into pipe tobacco, because pipe tobacco in the early 1960s was really booming. So that was kind of what that was his forte, and eventually started exporting to the United States and did really well. And myself, I started, I think I was 8 years old when I first came to my grandfather's factory. So it's a long time ago. But I pretty much spent most of my life in tobacco, being in factory or being it in a year in leaf tobacco and sales and marketing as well. So a little bit of everything. And so the fourth generation I started in 2012, which was kind of my idea to dedicate some tobacco blends, pipes, etc., to the four generations in tobacco, and each year signifies the birth year of the four generations. So, and then we added some other years, like the year of the company started with my great grandfather and so forth. So that's so I've been pretty much in this world of tobacco ever since I was born. And with the exception of I had about 7 years in New York City where I was in advertising. But actually, at that time, I also worked with like R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company in Winston-Salem. So, more or less all my life in tobacco. So it's been a great run.
Been a love for you. Now, when your family started the business, when your great
grandfather,
great grandfather started it, and then you had your great grandparents in Sumatra and everything. Was that all under the Stokkebye name?
It was under the Stokkebye name. It was my great grandfather. We are all called like Erik. I'm actually Erik the seventh. Okay. So before tobacco, there was like forefathers in the sea world. So anyway, so we were all called Erik, and it's like Erik Peter and Erik Paul, and my parents decided to call me Erik Michael, so they kind of broke the chain there. But so back then, the company was called Erik Stokkebye and AS, which AS stands for Incorporated. And so that's the brands that they had were not existing today, but there were different brands, being it pipe tobacco or being it cigar brands. So
okay. And you grew up in Denmark, correct?
I grew up pretty much in Denmark. Yes, I did.
Were you there for?
I was there till I was about. I was there actually when I was 17. My dad decided I should spend a year in the U.S. in leaf tobacco, where I went to the Carolinas and Tennessee and Kentucky to learn about leaf tobacco. And I came back, and then I spent a year in Denmark, and then I went to Germany, where I spent 9 months with our importer in Germany. And then when I was 21, I headed back to the United States and married my wife. So
did you meet her in the US?
We were actually high school sweethearts. So she's also Danish. Yeah.
Very nice.
So yeah. So a long time ago.
So you said that the names of the tobaccos are based off of birth years.
Yeah.
So we've got the start of the company in 1855, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then from there it just kind of goes great grandfather.
Yeah.
Grandfather. Now,
yeah.
When did you decide to start coming up with these, or how did you, I guess, decide to come up with these blends? What do these blends, are they tied into the years?
Not really, but when we decided to come up with these blends, I had some thoughts about what they should be. So I never met my great grandfather, but but the 1855 is kind of a natural Virginia, and I'm thinking back then in the 1800s, they probably didn't have a lot of aromatic blends, more natural based, just pure tobacco blends. So that's kind of my thought on that blend. And then my grandfather, who was actually more of a cigar smoker than anything else, he did smoke an occasional pipe, and he liked an aromatic blend. So that's kind of my thought on him. And then my dad, who loved to smoke a good flake, that I obviously came up with the flake in honor of him. And then myself, I like. I'm actually a little bit all over the board, but I do like a nice mild Virginia with a little bit of aroma to it. So that's the thought in the 1957.
Okay.
So
And
yeah, so
this-
I had some thoughts put into it when we did develop these.
I love that. I'm a little bit of a sucker for tradition and nostalgia. So when I first heard the story of the fourth gen tobaccos, it was like, all right, yeah, I understand that. That's probably something I would do if I ever.
Right.
Lord knows I don't think I'm that talented, but when you guys started the business, and we'll talk a little bit about when you leaving STG and everything, but I do want to know, how did you guys, let's do that first actually. So
Okay.
what happened there? So 1993 rolls around. You guys are working with STG, or?
No, not at all. I was in Denmark, and my dad at that time had moved to the United States because that became our biggest market. And we were a relatively smaller manufacturer, and in 1990 or 1991, there was more and more mergers. At that time, a company called Essence Tobacco Company merged with Scandinavian Tobacco Company, and then it became Orly Tobacco Company. So the writing on the wall was basically that it was going to be concentrated on few and hands. So I talked to my dad and I said, look, if I can talk to them to see if they're interested in some kind of merger or buyout, and he agreed with that. So I talked to him and had some meetings with which later became my boss and very good friend still today. And they were very interested in our company because we had the exports to the United States, and they didn't really have any exports to the United States. So we agreed on a price and sold to, at that time, Orly Tobacco Company, which was 50% owned by Scandinavian Tobacco Company.
Okay.
So
and that was the Peter Stokkebye.
So the Peter Stokkebye
brand.
name was there was the Peter Stokkebye factory, and it's also the Peter Stokkebye brand name, which was a registered trademark. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was in 93, and you continued.
That was 1993. Yeah.
Did you stay with the company?
I did. I stayed with STG, and it's a very good company. And then in 2000, they asked me if I wanted to start up a company for them, a import distribution company in the United States for Peter Stokkebye tobaccos, Roll Your Own, and so forth. So I moved my family here, and it was supposed to be for a couple of years. And 20 years later, I'm still here.
Wow. Crazy how that works, huh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So when did you officially leave and start fourth gen?
So the fourth gen was when I left the idea was actually, it was kind of formed in 2011. So I left in 2012 or 2012. And the idea was actually I came up with in 2011, and then I decided to go for it in 2012. And so far it's been pretty good.
I'd say 8 years in the running, and people.
I know.
Yeah, right. People recognize you. What when you started with pipes, correct? Or you started with tobacco?
Started with tobacco, and then I met Peter Nerup actually at a pipe tobacco function or an event in Alabama. Mobile? No, not Mobile. It was in Birmingham, Alabama. Back in probably in 2011, 12. And I was there featuring tobaccos, and he was there featuring his pipes. And I asked him, I have this idea that I like to have a line of pipes which is in line with the pipe tobaccos. And would you be interested? And he said, absolutely. So we started trading thoughts on the look of the models, what finishes, and so forth and so forth. So we went back and forth probably for about 9 months or so. And then I think we started in, I want to say 2013 with the pipes, like a year later.
Okay. What was your guys' thought process behind naming the finishes? So like this is a dark porter. You have a vintage natural, a burnt sienna. What was the thought process behind those names?
Actually, I when I was thinking about what the names for the finishes, I was actually thinking a little bit about beer. And
really?
the dark porter, maybe not so much the vintage natural, but I don't know. It was just you go through this thought process, and you come up with some names, and then you cross them out, and eventually you think you have the best. So
yeah. Well, I like them because it's more unique than saying, oh, the rusticated 1966 or the sandblasted 1931 or whatever, and it makes it's very clever.
Yeah, I thought it was good to give them the finishes an actual name, something people could remember. So yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we have I think we've got 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 of your guys' pipes on the wall, varying from the pipe of the year last year to the Father and Friends series. We've got
great.
one of each of those. And so tell me a little bit about the Father and Friends.
Well, the Father and Friends idea was something I came up with a couple of years ago when excuse me, I'm just
Okay.
I said, are you still there? There we go. Was something I came up with. We were trying to find a good forum around an event that we could do with the retailers, premium retailers like you. And I mean, Peterson, they had a very strong St. Patrick's Day type event with the new pipes, and others had around Thanksgiving and so forth. So I thought, well, what about Father's Day? Nobody celebrates fathers, right? So that's how we came up with, let's celebrate Father's Day with a new pipe, some events around the country, and so that was really, it was like trying to carve out a niche around that celebration.
Nice. And do they change every year, or are they?
Well, we actually only have done one so far.
Just this past year,
yeah,
right?
just the past year, yeah. So, but sure.
I'm gonna in case nobody's seen them before.
Yeah. But we are thinking about for next year, coming up with a new model, basically just in one model in 2 different finishes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, kind of like these ones. So we've got the black sand blasted here with the black stem and the orange accent ring, and then kind of the reverse almost, so to speak. And I love this pipe. I'm a sucker for a cool orange stem like that. So these are the 2 Father and Friends series, and they're nice. They're beautiful. They're gorgeous pipes. So that's cool. Yeah, I guess I didn't when we had our rep here before before Ventura and everything. He said that it was a Father's Day thing. I said, oh, that's pretty neat. Yeah, you don't see that very often.
No, you don't. So,
but we do see a big uptick in people coming in for pipe stuff right around Father's Day because
Oh, good.
Dad always smokes a cigar and he's
Sure.
been talking about a pipe, so I think I want to get him a pipe, and so
Yeah.
um
Great.
so speaking of some of the different pipes, let's talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about pipe of the year.
Okay.
Um, this one from last year is absolutely gorgeous. Big bowl, really beautiful, 2019.
Uh-huh.
How do you guys come up with pipes of the year?
Well, I had the idea, I guess, back in 2014 that I wanted to do. There's this show in Germany, trade show called the Dortmund Show, and I met with Tom Eltang, I guess back in 2013, 14. And I said, Tom, and he's always been a very busy,
Yeah.
pipe maker, hard to get to make any kind of pipes for. He said, I have this idea to have a pipe of the year, only 50 pipes. Would you be interested? And it took some convincing, but he decided at the end to do it. So he did it for me for 3 years, and then I thought, well, maybe we should have somebody new do it every year. And then so I went to Manuela in Denmark also, and she did a model for us that Peter Nierop carved out for us. And then Suga did a year for us from Japan, and so I thought it could be kind of cool to have different, pipe makers make a pipe of the year, and just like in a very limited quantity, and beautiful pipes, obviously, really good grain and so forth. So
Yeah.
so that was kind of the thought about it, something unique and different.
They're absolutely gorgeous. I love so you've had them for a couple of years now. We have one
Mhm.
left actually sitting here in the shop, a sandblasted one that I've just been eyeballing for a while
Okay.
because it's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now I saw
Right.
that you were smoking a prototype of pipe of the year when you did your interview with Kathleen from Cup of Joe's. Can you tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about that pipe that was supposed to be the pipe of the year this year?
Yeah, we had actually one of Tom Eltang's proteges, a young guy called Johannes Rasmussen. He and I talked about a year ago or a year and a half ago, maybe it was, about him having him make a pipe for us. So he sent me this one model that I smoked, and but because of this COVID-19 and everything else in turmoil, we decided not to do anything this year. So for 2021, maybe that'll be it, or maybe it'll be something else. We haven't really decided on that yet. So
Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
It looks like a really pretty pipe. It
but
looked
it
like
is a really, really good smoking pipe. Yeah, very
yeah.
classic. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think that's what drew me to it. I like to I lean towards very classic looking pipes, and I saw you smoking it. And I
sure.
was, ooh, that's,
Yeah.
that's
No,
a
it's
pretty
a
pipe.
beautiful pipe. Yeah.
So you've got some plans. I saw that
Hmm.
you recently posted. You've also sent me some pictures of some
Yeah.
new stuff that Fourth Gen is coming out with, huh?
Yeah.
So
We are coming out with a new Virginia Flake, which should be coming to the stores right around October. And it's a very nice Virginia Flake with a little bit of a aroma to it, but very pleasant, mature. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. So I'm kind of a sucker for flakes as well. So
yeah.
so I'm looking forward to that. And I just want to see if I thought I do have a.
You get a sneak peek?
Yeah. So here's
Oh
just the
wow.
label, and
Yeah, look at
we
that.
also we're right now working on changing our labels a little bit into a little more color mode. So
Okay.
this will be the first of them, and so that's I'm excited about that coming out. And then I'm going to Europe on Friday, and I have a meeting with Peter, and we've been discussing maybe a new pipe for this year, early 2021, and we're looking at a model something like this, maybe, or
Yeah.
so. I'm going to be discussing that with him here in a couple of weeks. What
Okay.
we want to do there.
Now, will
So
that follow along with that? So you've got the 2012 flake coming out. Will
yeah,
that be
so
a 2012 model?
2012, yeah, exactly. So
Oh,
that's
cool.
kind of the idea. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really
So
exciting.
yeah.
So we've got the 2012 coming out. Is it going to replace anything? Are you just adding on, or are you discontinuing something that we?
We are discontinuing the 1966, not pipe, but the pipe tobacco.
Okay.
It just didn't do as much as we thought it would do.
Okay.
So, but that's it at this point. So,
Okay.
and then so we have this new flake coming in this fall sometime. So, yeah.
Yeah, tend to have a lot of. I think a lot of people really enjoy a good flake with the Stokkebye name on it. So
Yeah,
I can
good.
imagine that that's going to be another one that's going to do pretty well.
I think so. Yeah, I hope so.
Now, what about, so we've you're anticipating possibly potentially a new pipe. You've got this flake on the way for the tins. Any bulk that we could potentially expect?
We are also we have had this in the works for a while. We have 3 bulk blends. We call them like the everyday excuse me, everyday kind of bulk tobaccos. So we have a morning blend, and a afternoon blend, and an evening blend. The morning blend is a nice aromatic, pretty straightforward, with a little bit of a bourbon taste to it. And then we have afternoon melange, we call it, which is like a nice English blend. And then for the evening, we have a nice flake. It's going to be a burley combination Virginia flake for the evening flake. So yeah, so that's pretty exciting. We are planning to also launch this late fall, probably around again October, November. So I'm pretty excited about that because I know a lot of people have been asking me for bulk blends, and so we decided to pull the trigger and move forward with it. So it's been it's good.
I love the idea of doing morning, evening, night, each one being different. That's
And they will be, by the way, different blends than from what's in the tins. So it's something new and different.
Yeah. That's exciting. It's always got to be fun to come up with something new.
Exactly.
Now, do you have like a team that you work with?
I worked with, this is the STG who's producing this for us. And so I've been working with some guys from the factory in Denmark, and where I spent 6 years. So yeah, pretty much the same guys. So
Oh, that's really neat.
that I spent time developing some of the Peter Stokkebye blends also that came out. Yeah, so
that's got to be kind of cool to kind of go back full circle here.
It is. Yeah, it is. It's fun. Yeah.
So, and I was actually going to ask you about future pipes, so you beat me to that punch. But so what's it? Let me ask you just a little bit kind of going away from that a little bit. What's it like when you go into a brick and mortar and you see Erik Stokkebye, your father's name and your grandfather and great grandfather and your name, Stokkebye, at a brick and mortar on the products? That's gotta be some pride in that.
Yeah, I mean, I that's really cool. I think it's a very good it's a good warm and fuzzy feeling, as they say.
Yeah.
So no, it's cool, and my father, he really worked hard at it. It took him a long time. I think first time he exported to the United States was in 1974, and it took a lot of hard work and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. But so when I walk into a store today, it's good to see that it's still there and it's still selling, and it's people still enjoy the tobacco. So that it makes you feel good. It really does, because I know what how much work there was behind that. So it's very positive.
Did you, and you said that you had a hand in creating some of the classic
Some
Stokkebye
of them,
blends that you do.
yeah, I sure did. Like the PS24 Nougat was something I worked on for a long time. Let's see what else. Highland Whiskey was another one. Trying to think back, it's been so long. But there was the Bullseye flake. I worked with actually that was worked with the guys in Essence on that for a year or so. But that came out to be a really very successful blend. So so it's been fun.
Yeah.
It really has.
Oh yeah. Well, we actually carry all three of those blends.
Oh yeah,
Amongst many others, they're very popular blends for us, and
yeah.
like you said, there's a tradition to the name.
Mm-hmm.
Before we no longer carry Roll Your Own, but we used to, and
Okay.
people wouldn't even know or remember the name, but they knew the look, and they knew that they loved
Right.
it. And and it says a lot about a company, and it says a lot about the people who have loved and cared for that company for
Sure.
many years. And we see
Yeah.
that that's translated over into fourth gen. So that's been
No,
really
it's
cool to watch us. So
yeah.
what let me ask you this: what's your go-to
Ah.
for both fourth gen
Mm-hmm.
and that classic Stokkebye line, that Peter
Ah.
Stokkebye line?
I think, well, for the fourth generation, it's my go-to is the 1855, which is like
Straight
an all
Virginia.
natural Virginia, and I'm a sucker for Virginia blends as well as flakes. So I really like that. And on the Peter Stokkebye line, trying to think here.
There's so many to choose from.
Yeah, maybe the maybe the PS24 Nougat. I did like that. I did like that luxury Navy flake as well. I do like that as well. So probably one or two of those. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there were anything else that I. It's been a while since I smoked some of these, but yeah, I would think those two is probably would be my go-to.
And those are just a classic. I I remember when I first started pipe smoking, everybody, when I wanted to get into flakes, everybody was like, you
Hmm.
gotta try the three luxuries from the Stokkebye line.
Right. Yeah.
That was the
No,
three you had to try,
yeah. No, they're
And
good. They're good buns.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So are you a cigar smoker too? I know you said your grandfather was primarily a
Yeah.
cigar smoker.
Yeah. My father actually also he enjoyed a cigar in the evening. Yes, I am. I'm an occasional cigar smoker, but I'll smoke a cigar. I don't know, once a month maybe or something like that. But
Okay.
yes, I do. I do appreciate a good cigar. I do.
Yeah.
I think
Well, you're a
that's.
tobacconist, so
I'm a
you kind
tobacco
of,
man, so
yeah,
you have to enjoy
go all the
tobacco.
way around. So we're really excited because you're with Arango now, right? Or
Hmm.
Arango is
Yes. Yeah.
distributing.
Yeah.
That's really exciting to
Yeah.
hear for us. We're good friends with the guys over there. Josh is
Yeah. He's a
very
great
lovely,
guy.
and he's
Yeah.
just a great guy. So tell us a little bit about that transition. What?
Well, it was. I've known Mike and his wife Linda for probably 25 years plus, and a great guy, great couple, and I know that Mike and his team, Josh, the whole team, and they're very focused on pipe tobacco pipes, and so I think that fitted right into what I wanted to do with my line. And so I think it's a great marriage. Good people, good folks, and I so far I've really enjoyed working with them. So very
And
good.
that's relatively new. You guys just
Relative
jumped
started
over.
here May 1st, so it's relatively new. So but so far so good. So obviously we couldn't do any trade show this year. So it's been a upside down world, as you know. But all things shall pass, and hopefully sooner than later we'll get back into a little more normal situation. And I do a lot. I did a lot of traveling, a lot of events with brick and mortars. And unfortunately, I just haven't been able to do that. But hopefully, as the fall comes around and things hopefully looks up a little bit better, and I can start in doing some of that again. So
Yeah, I know we have plans to get you out here in the fall, and
right.
we're really excited about that. And we'll be posting that as it gets a little bit closer. We'll be posting that on all of our sites and stuff. And I'm just excited to
That's great.
start
Yeah,
having people out again,
I know.
in the safest way possible, and getting you traveling, of course, safely. And when Josh gave us a call, probably must have been like either the 1st or 2nd of May. I mean, it was right when you went over.
Oh, okay.
And I nearly just jumped out of my seat, because I know the importance of having a company behind you that really supports you and what you do, and that's it's just it's invaluable. So we were really excited to hear that you had
it's great.
made that change over there. So So is there anything that I missed that you want to make sure that the fans of our shop and yours?
Well, I did want to mention one other thing.
Please.
And so in 2019, we produced like we did the limited the pipe of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We also did a tobacco of the year, and very we call it small batch, and very in a nice little humidor, very few produced. And so I talked to Josh and those guys, and I said I think we should do it again, either this year or towards the end of this year, beginning of next year. And this is it. So this is obviously empty, but it's like a little humidor box. Sorry.
There you are. So, wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be really cool, and we are working on having them numbered as well. And so I'm thinking that probably towards the end of the year, beginning of the new year is when we're going to have them out. So it'll be a limited edition, just X amount produced, and then so it's going to be a little pricey. They're going to be in the $30 range, but again, it's going to be a collector item. So
absolutely. And what's the blend? Does that say aged Kentucky?
It does. It's actually going to be a twist blend, almost like the sliced. What do you call it? The what we just talked about it.
Bullseye.
Bullseye. Yeah, it's not going to be quite the size of that, but a twist slice type blend. Yeah. So some Kentucky, some Virginia. So pretty neat stuff. Pretty good stuff. Yeah. So I think I'm excited about getting that out, and I think it should do really well. I know last year it did really well. We had actually several shops calling us for more, and we were out. So that's always a positive problem, right?
Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And you know what? You actually reminded me. I wanted to talk a little bit about some of your leather products. One of which I have. This is
great.
Yeah, this is my bag. I begged for it for Christmas, and then I got it, and now I just absolutely love it. So tell us a little bit about why did you go into making these type of accessories?
Well, I wanted when I had my my idea, the concept behind fourth generation, it was really to have tobacco pipes and accessories. So it'll, the pipe smoke could go to this one brand and get everything that he was looking for. So I met this company from India, again, I think it's 2012, 2013, in this German trade show, the Dortmund show. And we start talking, and they start sending me some samples. And so they've been producing for us ever since. And it's a really, really good company, very quality minded, one father and two sons. And they claim to fame is ladies' handbags that they sell a lot into European retailers. So they're very quality conscious, and I like working with them.
Yeah,
So
their
it's been
quality
fun.
is just, the
Yeah,
quality is incredible.
it is.
We carry a number. You probably can't see. There's
Mm.
couple of you guys
Oh
stuff
yeah,
up there on the row there, and
yeah.
we actually are due up for another order because they sell really well because they're gorgeous, and there's a theme. If you wanted
Right.
all of the hunter brown, or if you
Right.
wanted all black, or all of the blue, or whatever, like you said,
Right.
if you're a fan, you can have your ashtray, your your tamper, you can have
Yeah.
your lighter, you can have your bags and pipe and tobacco and everything. I mean, you can really just go all out here, and
Yeah.
it is very unique. It is a very cool thing to do for a company.
It is. Yeah. No, so it's been good. They've been selling really well, so it's been successful. Yeah, it's good.
I like those duffel bags.
I know
that's
they're
probably
really cool.
my next
Yeah.
acquisition.
We were actually we were thinking about, but since the show was canceled this year, we were thinking about, they did a backpack for me also in one of their leathers, and it came out really, really cool. So we were going to feature that for the show, but since the show went away, we decided not to do it, but maybe next year.
I was gonna say, it sounds like next year is just gonna be booming with awesome new product, new pipes, new tobaccos, new accessories.
Exactly.
That's gonna be sweet. That's a cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to see that tin. Now, I have to ask you.
Sure.
Is orange your favorite color?
Orange is really not my favorite color, but I just thought it works really well with particularly black, I think, and it works pretty well with the brown. So I just decided that orange, that's it. That's my color.
It's very aesthetically pleasing to look at those brown bags with the orange stitching, or even the pipes have that orangish hue to them. And orange is my favorite color, so I appreciate what you do.
Yeah. No, it's so that's why also I decided to do this in a kind of a burnt orange. So I think it came out pretty good.
That's gorgeous. I can't wait to see that, and we'll have to I'm gonna have to take a look at all of the new stuff coming in, especially if we anticipate having you here in the fall. We'll have to make some stuff work there. But thank you for bringing that up.
Sure. No, it's good.
I really appreciate that. So, well, I am pretty much, unless there's anything else, I think we've covered a lot of new stuff.
We did.
Doing for us. So.
I think we covered everything. Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, I think it's been great. Been fun to be on your show here.
Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. I really can't. And like I said, so for anybody who's coming back to listen, I think we got maybe one or two live here. I'm looking here, but for anybody who comes back to listen, I just wanted to remind you that we will be having Erik here in the store in Arlington Heights. We're in Illinois, hopefully in the fall. We'll be posting later dates on that. And we do carry every one of his tobacco lines, and we have, I think, a pipe from every year.
Excellent. Appreciate that.
Yep, and different ones. And so if you guys are looking for any fourth gen products, we have some of his accessories, and we have easy access to that with Arango being right down the road, and dear friends of ours. So if you guys need anything from fourth gen, please feel free to reach out to me or or the shop, and we can get you guys hooked up. And Eric, I can't thank you again enough for being so flexible with me on the dates and all the craziness that
Well,
occurred.
thank
So,
you. Thank you having me on board here. That's it's
absolutely.
been great. Well, I really appreciate it. So I think we had a good talk.
Absolutely. I learned a
Yeah,
lot. I learned a lot,
good.
and I'm excited to see what else you guys have coming out here pretty soon, and I cannot wait. So,
Great.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Erik Stokkebye, thank you so much for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your day. If you guys need anything, you guys can email me at amu@arlingtoncigar.com. You can contact us on our Facebook page, YouTube page, Instagram page. It's pretty much just type in Arlington Pipe and Cigar Lounge and you'll find us. And if you have any other questions for Mr. Stokkebye, write them in the comments below, and I'll harass him on email.
Right.
Thank you so much, Eric. I
Okay.
appreciate you
Thank you.
joining us today. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye.